Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers have practically built themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Welcome to today's show. And today, this is the kickoff to my Halloween season. And on this show, we're going to show you some of the projects that I'm going to be working on, some of the projects I'm already working on, and some that I just couldn't wait and I got finished ahead of time. You know, it's that time of year when pumpkin spice makes its way out, and Mad Dog's got himself covered right here with some pumpkin spice donuts. So I'm going to enjoy a nice hot cup of coffee, some pumpkin spice donuts, and I'm going to get going on some of these projects, take you along with, see if we can inspire you for the Halloween season. So stick with Mad Dog Merv as we look at what projects I'm going to be working on for Halloween. So first out of the gate, as I was getting all of my Halloween stuff out last week, now normally I would do it this week. My family wanted to do it a week early, that's fine. And I ran across this pirate dagger I had from last year that I had done nothing with. And I thought, oh, I gotta change that immediately. So let's doctor this thing up, shall we? All right, so I've taken my dagger and I've masked off the kind of leather portion of the handle, because what I'm going to do, and for my good friend Pete from Pete's Model Car Customs over in jolly old England, Pete, I want you to see this. I'm going to take my liquid chrome Molotow, and this is going to take quite a bit to do this whole dagger, but this I have used on so many projects and painted a couple of car bodies. I still got a ton of this stuff left in here. So I'm going to take and put some in my airbrush. My airbrush is running about 15 to 20 pounds right now. It's my good old Iwata, and I'm going to put it on thick. This is one of those you don't put on nice and thin. Okay. Pardon me. So I already went and sprayed this upper part here, and you can see how nice that looks. The reason I sprayed the octopus on it is we're going to replicate gold on there, and I wanted the dagger part itself nice and shiny. Now we are going to let this thing sit for a while, probably a couple of days out here in the 80-90 degree weather, and let it harden up really good, and then we will come back and we will get our gold going. We're going to paint the the octopus. We're going to paint him gold, and then we'll have kind of this leather looking part here, and then we're just going to keep this nice and shiny and chrome. We're going to leave it that way. So I mean, it's still going to look toyish to an extent, but it's going to look cool compared to what it looked like. So next step here. So after I let the liquid chrome dry for about 24 hours, I went ahead and went over this with a concoction. I called it my golding liquid. And all it is Liquitex gloss varnish with a few drops of yellow and a couple drops of red. It's like a 4-to-2 mixture of food coloring. And then I went over it, and you see the results. So here's the finished product. I've got the jewels in the eyes. And I bought these, I guess it was like $15 for 5 of these sheets. So I got all sorts of emerald jewels to do all sorts of fun things with. So I went ahead and put Some in here for the eyes. You see how the gold turned out on the dagger, and of course it's dry and I can handle it. After the dull coat that I put on the simulated leather wrap, I'm just not sure what else I'm going to do with that to make it look any better. I might give it a quick black wash. The dagger itself, I think, turned out okay color-wise. So I'm going to call this good where it's at. So very simple. Took it from, pretty cheesy looking to something that actually doesn't look too bad. So that's where we're at with this.
Now, while I had these new jewels, I decided to go ahead and make an emerald ring, since I had 3 rings. One had kind of light blue stones, the other the dark blue stones. Didn't like the light blue stones, popped them out, and now I have an emerald ring. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a modeling project. Remember that Object 279 that I got not too long ago and reviewed? And it has that really cool, futuristic looking figure. He's going to be perfect for Halloween. I couldn't wait to get on him. I've got this little base that I picked up from somewhere in a spare parts box that I think is going to be absolutely perfect. So I went ahead and I took some clear plastic and cut it, glued it, super glued it here to the back part of the base. Went ahead and put in some of this holiday green on the bottom. And I think you all know where this is going to wind up going, huh? Went ahead and made it so that it was leak proof. Then I went ahead and took some of the realistic water from Woodland Scenics and poured in here. It actually took me about 4 different pours because it kind of seeps down in and it shrinks a little bit. But after about 4 levels, it turned out pretty good. We'll look at it here in a minute. I had some of this dead grass looking stuff from my Woodland Scenic stock of things. So I cut some of that. You can't see this picture very well. I'm really sorry. To make a like a dead weed sticking up there. And I had this skull that I don't know where I got it from, but went ahead and put that on the base as well. So with the figure, it was easy. Just a dark green tester's paint. Went ahead and gave him a wash and a dry brush, and you can see how he turned out. I added 2 more clumps of weeds kind of on either side of the base to have this little toxic pond. I didn't want the areas where it ended to really show, so I went ahead and put a couple more weeds there. The Kalishnikov was easy to paint, just tester's rust and some Tamiya gunmetal. Very quick and easy build on the figure, although his mask, I went ahead and for the eyes, I took some of that Golding liquid that I have, which is, again, just food color and Liquitex gloss varnish, and put a little bit of that in the eyes for the lenses. So you see with this dry brush how it turned out, just really quick and easy. This was a fast build, and I like how he looks. He's going to go very well with the other Russian futuristic figure that I have from the KV5 kit that I built. So he's going to go well with that. Okay, so next project, my son picked up this really cool 3 stacked skulls for like half price because they had fallen over and they had cracked. So he asked if I could fix them, and you can see here these gaps. I went ahead and just used some Tamiya putty and went ahead and filled these areas up after I had used some Gorilla Glue to glue the whole thing back together so it would hold, obviously. But I went ahead and used this Tamiya putty here. Felt that this would be just fine for filling in these lower areas and these cracks. Then I went ahead and shot it with a flat black because I'm going to need to dry brush over that. The problem was finding the exact gold that I needed. I tried a tester's gold. I tried one from Tamiya. I kind of came up with a mixture of my own, even added a little brass in there. And it's not perfect because I didn't have the right paint, but it turned out pretty good. And actually my family couldn't really tell where the goof ups were, and they were very, very happy with it. So here's what he looks like. His eyes light up. Now for the next project I want to start, I've been dying to do this one. Look at this ghostly skeleton holding a lantern coming out of a painting. Wow, this is going to be cool. I'm thinking more of a pirate theme myself, but this is going to be cool. So I'm going to need to get working on this.
Okay, so on my skeleton for the painting, this is the skull that comes with my $50. I got it for $40, but your $50 full skeleton. And I've already taken the screws out, taken the neck off here. And this is just a horrid skeleton or skull to be working with, but I need a mandible that'll open. I really would like a different skull, so I went ahead and ordered this one. And this one's actually really nice as far as the details, but the mandible doesn't open. And, you know, he's got too good of teeth. So I'll use this for something else. Then I've got this skull, which is excellent. And this would be really good, but you'll notice it's like a kid's skull. The difference in size between that one and this one, that's just not going to cut it. So I guess since I can't find what I want, I'm going to have to do what I usually do, and that is modify and build it myself. So we're going to build up some area here. Going to try and get in deeper here. We're going to enhance the eyebrow area a bit. We're going to pull his teeth and the roof of his mouth. We're going to pull these teeth here, and we're going to see if we can make this a little bit more menacing. So let's get started.
I've already started on this one, and it's turning out really good. Again, full ride later on, another show later in the next few weeks, but you're going to really like how this one turns out. So another project I want to do is a craft project, and this one is some aliens. These are kind of fun, non-threatening aliens that we'll put out in the yard. And here are the pieces we're going to need for this project, and they're going to need a spaceship. Here's most of the pieces, plus I've got an umbrella as well that we will use for this project. And let me just tell you, it turns out really good, and that will be another show coming up here in a few weeks. Now, this is the one I really want to have some fun with this year, and that is this Harvester of Souls. I picked him up for a couple of $100, and I want to make him just menacing and scary as hell. So I'm going to redo his face and hands and a few other things and enhance him and try and just make him terrifying looking instead of toyish looking. So stay tuned for that. Now, the Bog Horror from World of Tanks. I've been wanting to do this one for a couple of years, and remember earlier this year, I built that M6 turret that's ready to go, and I've got a chassis that's partially done. So I'm going to try and get this finished up during the Halloween season and do this for my Halloween build of World of Tanks. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you next week.